Meet. So I might have to figure out a few things.
No worries.
Share my screen, share screen one. Okay.
And while Tina's setting up, if you have a question, feel free to ask it in the chat, and I'll be monitoring the chat room, or chat area, I should say, and I'll ask those questions, or you can unmute yourself. You should be able to do that and ask your questions live, either way. But go ahead, Tina.
Hello, so I'm going to be showing you one of my absolute favorite tools that I use, and it is called EdPuzzle. And just by, I can see on my other monitor over here, I can see everybody's little pictures. Just by raising your hand, have you guys used EdPuzzle before? Oh, awesome. I absolutely love it. It is great for several things that I do in the classroom. I'm going to leave my slides like this. Christine, can you see my slides? Okay. I'm going to leave my slides like this so that I can just use my tabs instead of going in and out of presentation mode. Okay, so I am a math instructional coach at Shoto Public Schools. I have one math class, and then I'm a math instructional coach the rest of the day. How can you use EdPuzzle to support your instruction? One, you can definitely use it during this time of distance learning. In the classroom, I use it a lot for remediation. If they're going to retake assessments or if they were absent. If I'm absent, I use it all the time for stations. And of course, if you're going to flip your classroom, this is a really good tool to use. So when I am usually giving advice or instructing people on instructional technology, I think the best thing to do is kind of give you a brief overview first and then go into a step-by-step. I am going to ask if you can open up another tab, and hopefully you guys can do this along with me. When we get to the step-by-step process, I would rather you guys be doing it with me. So if you can open up another tab and be prepared to go back and forth from the presentation and the tab. Okay, so first, just a very brief overview of EdPuzzle. When you do sign up or log in, and you log in as a teacher, sign in with Google, and I'm going to be doing all of this again step by step, so don't freak out. Okay, just so that you know what it is. What it is that students can open up a video and watch the video. It tracks how much the video they actually watch, and it stops along the way and asks questions along the way. You can edit the questions, you can crop the video, parts of the video, you can do voiceovers, and there's several things you can do to edit the video, and you can even upload your own videos. And there's so many videos to choose from that are already done, of course, but you could create your own and then upload your own videos. So probably the most favorite or the best thing I like about EdPuzzle is when you go to the gradebook or when you go to your individual classes. And after they watch the video, you can actually see how much of the video they watched. And this isn't my students, this is some family members and friends who did this sample one for me. And then when you go to grade the answers of the questions that are embedded in the video, this is like all of the same question right here. And you click, these are students, these would be students, and you click X for wrong or the check mark for right. And you can even give partial credit and comment. But this is all the answers in one place for one question. And then you go to the next question. And so instead of going through papers and grading 1 through 20, and then another 1 through 20, it's all number ones there together, and it's super easy to grade, just yes or no or comment. And that's probably the ideal thing for a teacher, is to be able to easily grade it and you can see if they actually watch the video. A lot of times we don't know if they actually watch the video when they get these, and especially if you're doing a flipped classroom or remediation, you don't know if they're actually watching these videos. And you'll know that they at least had it on. You don't know if their eyeballs were on the screen, but they at least played the video. Okay, so that was just a brief overview because I wanted to kind of show you where we're getting at before we do a step-by-step. Okay, so I'm going to go rather slowly because I want you guys to be able to do this with me. So go ahead and open up another tab and go to edpuzzle.com. I'm going to go ahead and log out and go through every step. Is that okay, Christine? Okay. Let me know if I need to stop and do anything or answer any questions, because I really want everybody to do this as we go.
And just as a note, this is being recorded. So if you need to go back and re-watch a different part, you'll be able to do that as well.
I also, at the end of the slides, I put some links to tutorials that also do a step-by-step for EdPuzzle and a couple more things. Okay, so when you're at edpuzzle.com and click sign in or sign up or log in, I'm going to click log in instead. Actually, I think I'll click sign up just for a second to see if you guys end up seeing something a little different. Okay, so make sure you sign up as a teacher, and then you're going to sign in with Google, and you'll want to use your school email. You'll want to use your school email so that it can integrate with Google Classroom, because you can pull over your students from Google Classroom super easily. So make sure you use your school email to do that, and it's going to ask you to accept that it can see all your Google stuff, and you'll want to click accept on that too. And sometimes I've had students also who accidentally sign in as a teacher. Every time, if they sign out and sign back in, it's going to ask them if they're a teacher or student. And if they can't find your class, a lot of times it's because they accidentally signed in as a teacher instead of a student. Okay, so when you first log in, you probably will not see the math in your school, which, by the way, when you were signing up, it probably asked what school you're in. Hi, Lori. It probably asked what school you're from. Go ahead and search for your school and put that in there, because it's really going to be a good tool for you to use, especially if you can recruit some teachers on your team to use it also, because you can share these videos. So go ahead and find your school on that. And if you didn't do that part, I think you can probably do it later and linking it to your school. So on your home page, this is what it'll look like, or similar to this. Math in your school, this actually has videos from math team members or from Shoto Middle School in this section, and you can click see more, and you can see all of the videos that people have created or reused and edited from that section. Okay, and then you'll see trending. When you set it up, it's probably asked what subject you taught, and then it says trending in math, and then trending in Oklahoma, and then trending in the United States. And these are all educational, for the most part, videos. And a lot of them are really super good videos, but I would suggest making sure you watch the entire video. You never know what might be in there, and definitely read the questions thoroughly so that you don't accidentally use something that you don't want your students to see. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is search for content. So in the top left-hand corner by the EdPuzzle icon, go ahead and search for, oh, wait a second. Christine, had you signed up before? Are you doing it right now? Okay, good. Did it ask you to bring over your classes first, or will it let you do what I'm doing?
Now, let me see. No, I had to join a school first.
Okay, so just join a school. And I don't think it asks you to bring your classes over yet. Okay, good. I see some head shaking of no. So, okay, good. So we can go ahead and search for content. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't prompting you guys to do something else that we hadn't covered yet. Okay, so in your search for content, go ahead and find something that you're going to be going over next week or sometime soon that you might be going over in your class. So I am going to be going over unit rates next week, or reviewing unit rates. So I'm going to put in unit rates and then search. And the first thing that's going to show up is all the EdPuzzle videos, because it actually pulls from different media sources. You have under popular channels, EdPuzzle, YouTube, Khan Academy. Anyway, you have this list of media resources that it gets the videos from. All the videos in EdPuzzle, people have already used, meaning teachers have used them, edited them, cropped them, input questions into the videos. Most of the time I start with videos if I don't just create my own. That a teacher has already used, that has some questions to give me some ideas of what to ask and whatnot. So the one that I had looked at earlier just to kind of see is this ratios and unit rates in the real world, which is a pretty good video. I am very picky about the videos that I use. I'm very picky with the instructor's voice and tone. If there's a strong accent or if it's hard to hear, I won't use it. I want them to actually be able to focus on the content. So if there's anything that's too distracting, I won't use it. Also, if the font is too small, and depending on if they have the paper right there in front of them, if it's too small to see, I don't use it. So I'm very picky about the videos I use. A lot of them you'll start seeing over and over again, like math antics videos are really good. You'll see those. You'll see a lot of Khan Academy videos, and I don't know what this guy's name is right here, but I see a lot of his videos. And the names underneath the videos are actually teachers who have used the video. So that's not the owner of the video really, but these are all using a free search. So it's not like we're we're not doing anything wrong with copyright laws. Okay, so let's say I wanted to use this video, or I wanted to look at it. If I open it, I can click copy or I can click edit. I could watch it right here, but I usually just click edit to start watching it. That way I can just delete it after I do it. But when you click edit, it automatically creates a copy. So there's really no point in doing copy and then edit, because you can just click edit and it's going to create the copy. And also, when you just push play right here, you can't fast forward or anything because it doesn't let the students fast forward through stuff, by the way. So it won't let you either unless you click edit, and then when you're in edit mode, you can fast forward through. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit, and it's going to copy it to my content. And this is your next screen. This screen actually recently changed. I like that all of the questions show up on the left, but the screen size I don't really like because you can't see the full screen. That's not what it looks like on the student end though. When they're watching the video, they can see the full screen. It doesn't look super long like that, and you can't see the top and the bottom. Okay, so there's so many things you can do in here when you click edit. You can actually crop or cut the video, the beginning or end, or you can even take out a section in the middle, which is very helpful for math because you may not want to show a certain example yet. Maybe you haven't covered multiplying or dividing by negatives with 6th grade, and so I don't want that part to be in there, so I want to cut out just that example. Or they show some crazy way that you're never actually going to use, and you may want to cut out just that example. And you can do that now. And that's a new tool that they have within the past month is when they actually changed all their editing stuff. Okay, so when I push play, I always make sure it sounds good. You guys probably can't hear that, can you? You can? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear it. It's a little quiet, but we can hear it.
Ads do come up.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to this lesson on unit rates. Now, even though you may not have even realized it,
Okay, so I'm not going to listen. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but voice means a lot to me. His tone is very good, and when he's explaining his problems, he relates them to real-world examples. I even like a lot of his questions that he has over here. Or the teacher, this was the teacher who had put these questions over here. Now, the voiceover, honestly, I don't use the voiceover. I would imagine if you're teaching a different subject, maybe you would use the voiceover more if you were teaching and they're watching a different type of video. I never use it. So I'm going to questions. So questions is where you can actually edit the questions, add questions.
Definitely been exposed to unit rates at some.
So, and again, in case you joined us late, what this does is the students, as the students watch, every time they come to these little dots right here, that means there's a question there and it stops and asks a question. When it does stop and ask a question there, the student can't skip that question. And it automatically, there is a setting that you could turn that off, but it automatically turns a setting so that they can't skip the questions unless they answer, which is really cool. And they can also re-watch that section. So if they click re-watch, it takes them back to that previous question, not all the way back to the end. So if they're at this third question and they're like, wait, it just asked me something and I don't know what it was talking about, I was spaced out, they can just go back to this previous question and watch that section over again. Okay, so the types of questions that you can do are multiple choice questions and open-ended questions, and then you can also just do a note. I use the note quite often, especially with some of these videos that they may not have said 16 to 2 and then they get 18 to 1. Well, and I might want to relate that to that's just like a fraction, you could divide by 2 and then you would have a reduced fraction of 8 to 1. So I use notes a lot with the math videos to put in some things that I'm like, now this, and relating it to something that we had discussed. Or I might say, write this down. Write this in your notebook.
Tina, there's a question in the chat. They saw the click to block ads. Will that come up when a student watches it, or does it automatically block ads for students?
I think the free version, I think it's there. I've used this for a very long time and I've never had any problems with any of the ads being inappropriate. So I think that if ads do show up, I don't think you're going to have a problem with them. But the free or the premium version of EdPuzzle is free right now for the time that we are having to teach from home. So you can always do that too. I don't know how much the premium costs. I used to have a subscription to it, but I'm sure it's changed. And I think it was like $7 a month, which was worth it for me because the main difference is space in your videos that you're saving. And I like to create my own videos quite often. And if you're uploading videos, it's going to take more space. And that's probably the only reason you're going to really need a premium is if you need more space to save those videos. Or if you're going to be creating a lot of your own videos. Did I answer the question? I already went on so much. I'm like, I don't even remember what the original question was.
I think so, the block ads one. So
okay.
I think so.
Okay, so when I want to add a multiple choice question, say I want to add a multiple choice question right here, it's super easy to use and it does have math symbols and functions available. Now, earlier when I was clicked on this, it wasn't wanting to pull it up because I meant to do a screenshot of this and I forgot, darn it. A lot of times if I'm on a video or my internet's not the best, I live out in the boonies, this normally will show up, all your math functions. I promise. It normally does. It's probably my internet speed where I live, which, by the way, Christine, if I start getting choppy or anything, let me know. I do have another option if this internet decides not to work, this hotspot. Okay. So I promise these equation tools do show up. And so you can put all your math functions and stuff in there. And it has your superscript and subscript, and you can insert pictures. So I use this a lot, is inserting the pictures. You do have to save your pictures and then upload them as a picture. So you can't just copy and paste your snip. You do have to you'll have to save it and then put the picture in. And then you can add several multiple choice options, and you can put in yes or no, or do the key on the left side. Super easy to fill out over here. And then, so I'm going to close that and look at the open-ended questions. I use the open-ended questions more than anything because it's super easy to grade, so why not? And so with open-ended questions, it doesn't always have to be just a math, just a step-by-step math problem. You can always ask them to, if you're creating your own slides, you can have several different, you can do which one doesn't belong, and you can have them answer open questions there, open-ended questions there. You can even have open middle problems if you're creating your own slides. So there's a lot of different things that you can do rather than just x plus 2 equals 10, solve for x there. So you can still use those open-ended questions that you would normally in class to get the class going, or more than just DOK1 questions. You can still do those here too on the open-ended questions. And then again, you can do a picture, insert it as a picture if you don't want to type it out. Okay, and then the note, I use this a lot, and you just type something in, and just for them to read it, it doesn't ask them to do anything. So when you get to the question, when you get to each question, and when you're watching, if you want to edit something, so I'm going to push play. Hopefully it doesn't.
In 1 minute.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so their question here, oops, I didn't need to, is give at least 3 other examples of unit rates that we would use in our everyday lives. It's super easy to edit. See, if I wanted to edit and just put 2 instead of 3 and save, and then you're done. And the students have to answer that before they move on, which is super cool. You can also add more than one question right now. I could add a question underneath this question so you have more than just one question at that location on the video. And then they would click continue, and it saves that, and then on their end they would okay, so now I'm going to go up here.
Miles for every 1 hour of running.
Comes to the next question, and see this, I just had searched this, and somebody else had, another teacher had used this video, and then you have a note right here, 16/2 reduces to 8/1. That's where I got that example from, because I knew where she was getting at when she did this. But there's no space in here, and they did use the math function to put those fractions in. I would have fixed this. Let me see if it'll actually let me pull up the math functions, which it probably won't again. I don't think it's going to pull. Oh, there it goes. There's the math functions. Good. So I can put in the fraction, and it looks a little weird, but it ends up being absolutely fine. There you go. So I'm inserting the fraction 18/2, and then I will put reduces to so that there's actually a space in there. And then I can change this to 9/1. Oh, look, this is 16/2, and I put 18. So anyway, don't do what I did, but the functions it'll read the functions correct as you put that in. Okay. Ignore my math mistake because I had put 18. Okay, and then once the student gets to this next question, and they can rewatch that other section, which I think I already told you that. A lot of times these questions, since the teacher can move them around, they may have been moved around a little bit and not be exactly where they needed to be in the video. So make sure you're watching the video so that when you do come across those questions, that's actually where that question belongs in the video. And another thing I've seen often is teachers will personalize this and put, remember in class yesterday when we did this problem. And so you're going to want to make sure and pay close attention to the questions and make it your own video, and so that you're not just using something they're like, what are they talking about? We didn't do this yesterday. So they don't realize that this was done by another person before you actually used it. And we're all about borrowing, right? Okay, so as you go down, this has 4 questions. Let's say I'm going to go to the end, maybe. I don't want to listen to the whole thing. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to the very end here and say I wanted to put a quiz or a exit ticket at the end. Okay, so it's not wanting to go, oh, there it goes. Okay. I can do several questions right here at the end. Let's just say I would put more than just A. I'm just going to do that for now, though.
In sports infographic.
Okay. I don't think I pushed it at the bottom. Oh, there it goes. I didn't add that to the bottom. My bad. So when I'm adding these at the bottom here, I was clicking too fast right there for a minute, so I'll stop for a second. Okay, so when I have a question right here at the end, and I add another question, my other question is right here at the same spot, and you'll see if I add like 4 questions right here at the end, there will be 4 little dots up here, and it's at the same spot in that at the very end of the video. Also, if you look at the little dot here at the bottom, there's a little white dot inside the dot, and that means that there's more than one question at that spot. Okay, so I think I'll give you guys a minute to look at that and see if they have any questions right now before we move on. Christine, do we have any questions in the chat?
We do not.
Okay. I can't move this over. Oh, I did move it. Yay. Now I'm trying to pull the chat up. Oh, well. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the home page now. I don't think I actually said that you don't have to. Okay. You need to, before you click out of that, like when you're done with the video, and you've edited all you've wanted to edit, you can click finish from this section, from that screen, and you can assign from here. You don't have to though. You can go back and assign it later. The copy and what you edited is automatically saved into your My Content. But you can click finish and assign from there if you wanted to. And on the assign, on this next screen, if you do click finish and go to this next screen, it tells you where these questions are in the video on the right-hand side. And then you have assign, edit, duplicate, and delete. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my home page now. And this is the one I had looked at earlier. And a lot of times after I edit, or if you copy and you don't edit it at that time, you just wanted to save it in your stuff to look at later, I usually delete those so you don't get too many videos in your my content. Oh, my bad, I didn't click on my content. So my home screen, if I go to my home screen, it actually shows the videos that your school, math in your school is up top. So if you click on my content, that's just your videos. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you'll see the my content, and that's what you'll want to click on, and that's only your videos, slides. See, I'm used to saying slides, that you have searched for. And I tried to, any of duplicates I have, I tried to delete that first one so that I don't get too many different videos and I forget which one I was going to use and whatnot. Since I just see this right here, and I did want to mention it to you, if you search, like when you're searching for content, a lot of times you can search your exact lesson title from whatever material you're using, and you could find a video over that exact lesson that somebody else has created and edited. So for example, if you use Open Up Resources, you can search Open Up Resources or Illustrative Mathematics, Grade 6, Unit 3, Lesson 11, and you're going to find videos of using those same resources in Open Up, by the way, which is really good. When I do click on the Open Up Resources, because I know a lot of you probably use Open Up, for me, I wouldn't use this video unless they have this paper in front of them because the font is too small and they can't see it. But if they do, like in class, we would have, like, this is the practice, or actually that may be the actual lesson part of on Open Up Resources. In class, they would have that paper with them right in front of them, so this video would be absolutely fine to use. But I wouldn't use it unless they actually had the paper right there in front of them. But these are really good videos, by the way, by Mr. Morgan. He has a website that has all the illustrative mathematics videos, I think for more than just grade 6. I think it's 6th and 8th, maybe. I don't remember, but he has a lot of good stuff on his website too. Okay, so when you're in my content, that's all of just your stuff. And when I'm on the home page, it shows in my school, but I could also have Shoto Maisie Public Schools right here. And it says 15 teachers use it. Actually, 3 of those are students had signed in as teachers at one point. But this is all the videos that the teachers have used. So if you work in a larger district, this will be really, really good. If you have several 7th grade math teachers on your team and you guys are covering the same content at that time, this would be ideal to use for remediation if students are gone. If you're gone, I use this all the time if I have a sub. It's super good to use in those situations. If they are taking notes when they're watching the video, so a lot of times if I'm gone and they're taking notes on the video and answering questions, it will take significantly longer than what the video actually says. I would think probably at least doubling the time. Like this says 7 minutes and 37 seconds. I would assume that this is probably going to take about 20 minutes for them to write down everything I want them to write down and answer questions and so forth. So it does take, and if you have some slower writers, it might take them longer. But the good thing about it is you can always leave them, okay, you need to do this EdPuzzle lesson, and then you need to get on Khan Academy, or they actually have a practice page to do or something like that. Okay, they do actually have their own curriculum. They just don't have a whole lot of content in the curriculum section yet. They have more content in the high school math section than the middle school, and I have noticed that in the high school math section, there's a lot of stuff that you can use in the middle school as well, or middle level. I do know an elementary teacher, by the way, who uses this and loves it. So it's not just for secondary. I heard a ding. Does that mean you need me, Christine?
Nope, but it does.
Okay.
We do have a question in the chat.
Okay.
So what do you do about headphones or earbuds? Are students responsible for bringing their own?
A lot of my students will bring their own, but I did order, or with the money we got at the beginning of the year, I did order some headphones, just the cheaper brand that probably won't last very long, but I did order some headphones. And as they come in the room, what I do for classroom management is when they walk in and they turn left to get their notebook, on the board, I'll have a side of the board that tells them exactly what they need that day. So if they need calculator, Chromebook, headphone, well, anytime they get a Chromebook, they're going to get their headphones also. And they have a circle, like a rotation around the room. So they'll get their notebook, then they'll go over and get their calculator and Chromebook and headphones and sit down before they even go to their desk. So, but a lot of times with middle school and high school, they're going to bring their earbuds because they don't want to use the headphones. I usually don't I think I only have like 12 headphones right now, and that's plenty. Usually I have enough that bring their own earbuds. They keep them in their pencil bag that I won't have to worry about it. Usually. And sometimes all in one day, everybody forgets them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I have to go borrow. Okay, so I'm going to go to their curriculum real quick and look at the math videos. So the videos in the curriculum just means that somebody from the EdPuzzle team has watched the videos. So they've been vetted a little bit more than if we were just looking for them. And they've been actually organized in Algebra 1 and sections for each subject, but there's not a whole lot of videos in these. Problems. And a lot of Khan Academy assignments. And you may want to look, or when I am looking for videos, my students, we use Khan Academy quite a bit. So I may not use Khan Academy videos for this just because they always get to hear Khan speaking. And you'll start seeing the same teachers or instructors on these videos that you get used to, like Math Antics. I know he does really good middle level videos, and you'll get used to what those videos look like, and you'll look for those type of videos when you're actually searching for content. And see, this is in one section. There's not a whole lot of videos for it, but these are good videos too. And you'll be able to recognize when you're searching. You'll be like, oh, I recognize just the setup of the slide, and you'll know to look at that video. You'll start using your favorites. You'll see your favorites that you'll start using. Okay, so that's all. I always find an EdPuzzle video that has been used if I don't create my own. But you can also just find YouTube videos that have not been edited, meaning a teacher has not cropped them or put questions in. So basically you're starting from scratch from a YouTube video. And you can also search Khan Academy only videos, and then these other things that I never use. Okay, so now let's get on, let's move on to your class because it is 2:40. When I go to my classes, I have my third hour, and then I have a practice class right here. If you go to class options, you can name the class and put a description, but you can add, where is add a class? Oh, there it is. My mouse was right over it. So when you click add a new class, it will give you the option to add them from Google Classroom. And then you could, I'm a co-teacher for several classes, but you can select one or all of your classes from Google Classroom, and it brings them straight over. Initially, when they first log into EdPuzzle, it will ask them a few other questions, but they do, once you bring it over from Google Classroom, they can just sign in using their Google account, and they won't need a code, because once you bring them over from Google Classroom, they should not need a code, or they're not signed into their school Gmail account, which you're going to probably come across if you're doing this when they're at home and you haven't signed up before. You'll just have to tell them you don't need a code, you need to sign into your school Gmail, and then you'll be able to get in using your school Google account. So once they're in, and I know you guys don't have this section, so I'll just show you, since you have to have them actually watch a video and have answers, right? So when you're in this section, actually, I need to show you real quick how to assign it, because I did not show you that. Let me open up one of my other videos that I had. Okay, now from here, this was the other video. If I click assign, you can put in the day you want it to show up and the due date. After the due date, they can still access the assignment and do the assignment late, so it doesn't disappear. Okay, they can do the assignment late. Now, right here on a lot of screens, I think even on my desktop at school, I have to scroll down in order to save it, or you don't see that save, and it gets annoying. So if you were to assign it today and it's due Thursday, you have to make sure you click save, and you can even put in actual time, but I never do. So make sure you scroll down and click save. A lot of times that's covered up. Okay, you can automatically, this is going to say prevent skipping. You can turn on closed captioning, and you can post on Google Classroom. I actually don't post on Google Classroom from here, because I like to create my assignment and do my own title and stuff. If you post it straight to Google Classroom, one, if you have more than one class, it posts the link to whatever class you're on. It messes the links up basically. I don't know if they have fixed that, because you can click what as classes you're assigning it to, but when you post on Google Classroom, I don't think it sends it to the right out. Like, it sends all of them to the first class that's on there or something like that. So I actually don't post on Google Classroom. From here, I just copy the link and put it in Google Classroom, instead of just having it automatically go to Google Classroom. I can also do a public link. I have a website, and by the way, if you teach 6th grade, you should email me and I'll send you a lot of 6th grade math stuff. But you can copy the public link so that I can share this with teachers outside of Shoto if I wanted to, and then they can edit and copy it from there. Okay, so after you click assign and they watch, then it's going to be in your My Classes, and you click on the class. And now I will go here to show you. So I had my lucky, awesome friends here who got to help me out and watch a video called Cats versus Toasters. And I'm going to click on here for answers that still need to be graded. And you can mark ungraded as correct, which I would never do that. I don't understand why people would do that. If they're going to do something, I always spend time to actually look at it and give feedback if needed. So, and this was at that time in the video, which, by the way, I can click preview video and it'll take me straight to that point in time in that video and show me what I'm talking about. Let's say I don't know what I'm talking about right here. Let me preview the video and see exactly where that was. What do you think the cat is getting ready to do? And the cat actually pounces. So I could click, yes, they got it correct. And I could comment, you're awesome. And then Jeff wrote, take over the world. I can count it wrong if I wanted to. Anyway, they know I'm just using this for instructional purposes. So super easy to go through here and mark right or wrong. My absolute favorite thing about EdPuzzle, and that they at least have to have the video going, and you can see if they actually had that video on and hopefully watched it. You can show all at the end, and you can see who got each question right or wrong, and if you accidentally messed up, you can fix that too. And then I gave half credit here. You can give half credit on problems. And then it breaks it down. And at the very end, okay, so here's the options. This was a multiple choice option here. And it shows you who got the right answer and what answer they chose if they got a wrong answer on multiple choice, which can be beneficial for math, but I'm pretty lazy and multiple choice answers take longer to write. Unless they're already done. Oops. Okay, so any questions about grading?
None in the chat.
Okay, good. All right, so in the gradebook section, which I can't click on because I'm pretty sure it pulls up my third hour names and stuff as soon as I click on it, so I'm not going to. I don't use the gradebook option much at all. I just look at the each individual assignment, and usually this is completion grades anyway. I'm instead of, you know, this is more for them to receive feedback and see what they're doing right or wrong, need help in. A lot of times this is for remediation, and if they miss, or if you don't have time to teach a whole lesson on something, that if they were gone, they can watch this instead if you don't have time to teach them individually. Because in math, sometimes if somebody's gone during, they could have missed a 25-minute example of some problems, you know, some of these extensive problems as you get to the higher levels. Okay, so that is about it that I can think of to show you an EdPuzzle. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys love it too. I do want to show you a couple more things, or just to share a few more things with you. Okay, so on the slides that I'm going to share with Christine, I have a slide with EdPuzzle tutorials. I actually finally started a YouTube channel, but I only have like 3 videos in there right now. And one of them is an EdPuzzle tutorial, the basics. So it's basically the same thing I just went over right there. And then you have part 1, part 2, and part 3. Actually, I should put the part 2 and 3 in there. This is the same guy, and it goes in detail with everything you could think about with EdPuzzle. Super good tutorials there. Okay, and what I use, or what I do all the time, basically, if I have a question, or if I want to know something, or if I'm bored and I'm just watching education stuff, because that's my hobby basically, is learning from YouTube. And the channels that I follow, and they're super good to learn anything you want to know about technology and math and technology, these channels are absolutely great to follow. If you like getting on YouTube. If you don't, I'm telling you, you're going to absolutely love it. Is Lori still on here? I don't know if she's on here. Lori, if you're on here, if you look at Stacy Roshan, you're going to die. Like, she goes, you're going to absolutely love her channel. She incorporates Desmos, and she teaches a lot of advanced math too. And oh my gosh, she is very, very intelligent, and so everything that she does is going to be math and technology together related. It's awesome. And then Sean Beard, who's actually from Sand Springs, I think. So he's from Oklahoma. He has his own YouTube video, and YouTube channel. And all of these right here are such great YouTube channels to follow. That's where I learn basically everything. That and Twitter, YouTube channels and Twitter. That's where I learn all my cool techie stuff that I just am addicted to. Okay, and basically that is all I have. My email is at the bottom there, and I do have a website, the icoachedu.com. If you're a 6th grade math teacher, you're definitely going to want to go there. I have a lot of stuff that I'm using right now for distance learning that you will probably like. So anyway, that's about all my time, or that's about all I have. Christine, do you have any other questions?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the big one. A lot of people are also thanking you in the chat, so be sure to check those thank yous out. It was awesome information that I think is really helpful, and not just for distance learning. This definitely supports distance learning in a big way, but I think for any classroom, this is a game changer for remediation, for absent students, for a lot of different options. I think it's great. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
Oh, you're welcome.
We appreciate you. And
I'm trying to stop my screen share and I'm not finding it.
Well, that's okay, because then you have your email up there. So
okay.
People, if they want to write that down.
Oh, there it is.
I am going to be sending the slides as soon as Tina shares them to me. And we will be getting a recording of this captioned and processed and ready to go. Then I will send it out through the OK Math newsletter. It'll be posted in the ongoing meeting notes document that we have, and it will be posted on the OK Math Facebook group. So 3 different spots for your enjoyment. But does anybody have any additional questions for Tina or for me at this time? You can either unmute yourself or type in the chat.
I can't even find how to view the chat right now. Isn't that awful?
There's a little chat bubble next to your share screen, but maybe try stop sharing and then you can see it too.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, next week we have Brandy Green, and I believe she's still on, but she is going to be sharing with us more about interactive slides and the Notice Wonder strategy. And so I'm really excited for that. She's already posted a teaser on her Twitter account. So if you don't follow Brandy yet, make sure to hop on Twitter and follow her, and then you can see a little teaser. But we hope to see you next week. Thank you again, Tina. We really appreciate you. If you have something you would like to share with our OK Math group, please email me, let me know. We are looking for additional teachers to share their expertise. I think it's best when we can network and come together and, you know, offer Oklahoma specific professional learning opportunities. So anything you want to learn more about or anything you want to share, please reach out and email me. But thank you all so much for coming, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.